I learned early that loud moves fade fast. Everybody chasing attention, but attention don't build empires. Direction do. If you ain't clear where you going, all that noise just make you tired. I'm telling you, move with purpose, not noise. I done watch people flex to start and never finish. Watch quiet ones stack bricks every day and wake up 10 years later owning the block. See, progress don't announce itself. It whisper. It show up when nobody clapping, when the camera's gone, when it's just you and your discipline having a conversation at 4 inches the morning. You don't need validation when you got vision. Vision is lonely. Vision is misunderstood. Vision make people doubt you before they ever doubt themselves. But if you know the route, you don't argue with detours. You stay locked in. You stay patient. You stay working. Everybody want to look successful. Very few want to be successful. Being successful mean delayed gratification. It mean turning down quick wins for long plays. It mean doing the boring work so your future can live loud. I never believed in shortcuts. I believed in ownership. I believed in learning the game so nobody could play me. When you understand the rules, you move different. You stop reacting. You start executing. And listen, speed ain't the goal. Sustainability is. Consistency is. Integrity is. I'd rather move slow in the right direction than sprint in circles just to be seen. Because being seen don't mean being respected. And respect come from results, not volume. So if you feel overlooked, good. That's protection. If nobody cheering yet, perfect. That means you got room to grow without pressure. Use that silence. Let it sharpen you. Let it teach you who you really are when nobody watching. Every step gotta mean something. Every decision got to align. Your time too valuable to waste, proving yourself to people who don't know your journey. Build first, speak later. When you finally arrive, it won't be loud. It'll be undeniable. Direction always mattered more than attention, even when it felt like attention was the currency everybody was chasing. I used to see people get distracted by applause, by likes, by quick recognition, and I realized early that attention is rented, not owned. It comes and goes with trends, moods, and algorithms. Direction is different. Direction is internal. It's a commitment you make when nobody is watching, a promise you keep even when the results are invisible. When you're clear on where you're going, you don't need to announce every step because every step is already accounted for in the plan. Quiet execution builds something solid because it's not rushed, not performative, not dependent on outside approval. It's rooted in clarity. Clarity saves energy. When you know the destination, you stop wasting motion. You stop explaining yourself to people who aren't walking with you. You stop chasing opportunities that look good but don't align. A lot of people burn out not because they lack talent, but because they lack direction. They move fast, but in too many directions at once. Speed without alignment turns into chaos. Direction brings discipline. Discipline brings consistency. Consistency compounds into something real. Quiet work teaches patience. When there's no crowd, you learn how to sit with your thoughts, how to face your doubts without distraction. You learn how to measure progress internally instead of externally. That's where confidence really comes from. Not from applause, but from repetition. From knowing you showed up again, even when yesterday didn't give you proof it was worth it. That type of confidence can't be shaken easily because it wasn't built on hype. It was built on hours. There's a difference between being visible and being effective. Visibility feels good, but effectiveness changes your life. You can be seen and still be stuck. You can be unseen and build a momentum that nobody understands yet. History always remembers the results, not the noise that came before them. Most breakthroughs look boring in real time. They look like routines, like sacrifices, like saying no to distractions that everybody else says yes to. That's why discipline is lonely. It separates you quietly. Consistency don't need witnesses. It just needs commitment. Showing up every day to sharpen your skill, to learn the business behind the craft, to understand the systems you're operating in. When you're consistent, you don't panic when things slow down. You trust the process because you studied it. You understand that compounding takes time, and time favors those who don't quit. Loud moments fade, but accumulated effort leaves a footprint. Direction also protects you from comparison. When you know your route, somebody else's speed don't intimidate you. Somebody else's spotlight don't distract you. You understand that everybody got a different starting point, a different load to carry, a different destination altogether. Comparison is usually a sign of unclear goals. Once the goal is clear, the noise fades into the background. Like static, you don't even register anymore. Quiet execution builds leverage. While others are busy announcing plans, you're busy learning, refining, correcting mistakes before they become public. You get to fail in private, adjust in silence, and improve without pressure. By the time people notice, you're already seasoned. That's why overnight success is usually a decade deep. The silence was the classroom. The lack of attention was the training ground. There's power in being underestimated. When nobody expects anything from you, you're free to experiment, to grow, without judgment. Expectations can box you in if they come too early. Silence gives you room. It gives you space to become who you're supposed to be instead of who people project onto you. Direction keeps you grounded in that becoming. Purpose-driven movement is what separates motion from progress. Being busy don't mean you're building. Purpose forces you to ask why before you ask how. Why this path? Why this sacrifice? Why this timing? When your movement is rooted in purpose, every action has weight. Even rest becomes strategic. Even setbacks have meaning because they're measured against a bigger vision, not just immediate emotion. Vision is the anchor. Without it, discipline feels like punishment. With it, discipline feels like investment. You don't mind the delay when you understand the destination. Purpose reframes struggle. It turns obstacles into tuition, lessons you pay for with effort instead of money. That's why people without purpose quit early. Pain feels pointless when there's no why attached to it. Discipline is quiet too. It's not flashy. It's routines, boundaries, standards you enforce on yourself long before the world enforces anything on you. Purpose gives discipline, direction, and discipline gives purpose, structure. Together they outperform anything loud but unfocused. Noise is emotional. Purpose is intentional. Noise reacts. Purpose responds. When your movement is purposeful, you stop chasing every opportunity and start selecting the right ones. You understand that saying yes to everything is really saying no to mastery. Focus is a form of respect to yourself and to the craft. Purpose helps you protect your time because you understand the cost of distraction. Every unnecessary detour delays the vision. Unfocused effort looks impressive from the outside but feels empty on the inside. It's exhausting because there's no center. Purpose gives you a center. It gives you something to return to when motivation fades. Motivation is temporary. Purpose is durable. It carries you through seasons where excitement dies but commitment remains. When the movement is rooted in vision, ego takes a back seat. You're less concerned with being right and more concerned with being effective. You can take feedback without taking it personal. You can adjust without feeling defeated. Purpose creates flexibility because the goal matters more than the method. Noise locks people into performance. Purpose frees you to evolve. There's also accountability in purpose. When you know what you're working toward, excuses don't sit well with you anymore. You feel the gap between your actions and your intentions. That awareness sharpens you. It pushes you to close the gap, to align behavior with belief. Discipline grows naturally out of that alignment. Purpose-driven movement respects timing. Not everything needs to happen now. Some things need to mature. Some plays need preparation before execution. Loud moves often come from impatience. Purpose teaches patience without killing ambition. You learn how to pace yourself so you don't peak too early or burn out before the real work begins. Vision also demands ownership. If the goal is meaningful, you take responsibility for the outcome. You don't blame the environment, the system, or the circumstances. You study them instead. You learn how to navigate them. Purpose turns you into a student of the game instead of a victim of it. Discipline is the curriculum. Quiet, focused effort builds credibility with yourself first. Before anybody else trusts you, you trust you. That self-trust is powerful because it doesn't disappear when things go wrong. It's built on evidence, on the memory of times you followed through. Purpose keeps adding to that evidence bank. Noise creates pressure to perform. Purpose creates permission to grow. Growth is messy, inconsistent, uncomfortable. It doesn't always look good. Purpose gives you the patience to move through that mess without quitting. Discipline keeps you showing up even when progress feels slow. When effort is unfocused, setbacks feel personal. When effort is purposeful, setbacks feel instructional. You extract the lesson and keep moving. You don't dramatize the loss. You don't let it define you. Purpose keeps your identity bigger than any single outcome. Over time, purpose-driven discipline compounds into mastery. Mastery don't beg for attention. It commands respect quietly. People feel it before they see it. They sense the depth, the preparation, the intention behind every move. Loud effort might get a moment. Purposeful effort builds a legacy. Legacy is built in silence. In the choices nobody applauds. In the standards you keep when there's no reward yet. In the patience to let things grow at their own pace. Direction keeps you steady. Purpose keeps you honest. Discipline keeps you moving even when motivation fades. Noise comes and goes, but alignment stays. And alignment is what turns effort into something that lasts.